How is that? How are they a top 5 dynasty?
Marz, they won 50 games for 20 straight years. Marz,
didn't miss the playoffs.
Regular season dynasty. My bad. Regular season dynasty.
They won 5 championships in the process of doing that, Marz. That's once
every 5 years. 5 championships in 15 years.
That's once every 4 years. They win an NBA
no
championship.
Big deal, right?
And winning 20 and winning
one in every 4 years.
Year.
So they win a championship like it's the Olympics and that's a dynasty. Like, come on, man.
Marz.
So
what they got? 99,
05 dynasty. What we talking about?
All right. Okay.
Top 5?
03, 99,
03, 05, 07. Well, let's just keep 14 out of it. 07, 05, 03, 99. That's not a dynasty. You're right, Marz.
No, they cool. I said how they top 5.
What are the 5 dynasties better than that?
Russell Celtics.
Go, Marz. Who?
Russell Celtics.
100% the 60s.
Mike and Lakers.
Mike and Lakers.
Oh my God.
Oh, so then tell me you just don't care about NBA history then.
No, we care about NBA history. 100%.
Okay, so then Mike and Lakers. Are we agreeing or not?
We care about NBA history. Keep going, Marz.
Okay, so Mike and Lakers, Russell Celtics, Showtime Lakers, Jordan's Bulls. Right, we all in agreement, right? That's 4. We're all in agreement.
Not necessarily in agreement, but keep going.
No, we're not all in agreement. Maybe you 4 are in agreement, but I'm not.
5 chips in 6 years, nah. But 5 in 20 years, yeah.
Right, 6 cool. 6 chips over the course of 8 years. That's pretty impressive.
No, they're the Bulls. Yeah, I'm talking about Spurs. Spurs
so
was 5 and 20. But yeah, okay. So then you got pick your dynasty. The Lakers in the 2000s. So 5 championships across 10 years.
Okay.
Shaq and Kobe
3 in a row.
Yeah.
3 in a row.
The Golden State Warriors.
They were better than
the Bird Celtics. Or no, pick one of those 3. Better than the Spurs. That's your options.
The one of those 3. That's the problem. You can't.
Why can't?
Yes, I can. 100%. 100%. Because
neither of them is better than the Spurs dynasty.
Okay, so I got 67 wins, championship, NBA regular season record for wins, the greatest team of all time, the greatest team of all time part 2, then another championship in 2022 versus 5 chips in 20 years. Sure. None of which these teams are the greatest teams of all time. Yeah, give me the Warriors. Every single time.
Now listen to what you just said, Marz. 5 chips in 20 years. Where is the sustainability? We did this for 2 decades. You had a run. Don't forget, Marz. This
one less chip.
You. That's not the point, Marz. The point is
we did this.
No, we were relevant for 20 years. Remember, Marz, when you played in the 13, I believe the first time y'all made the playoffs in 12-13, and y'all lost to was it the Spurs?
No, they beat Denver.
They beat Denver. They beat Denver and
the Spurs. Yeah, they lost to the Spurs.
They lost to the Spurs. Just so you know, Marz, that was the second playoff series that they won in 23 years. That's 3 years less than we had our run where we were on top. 50 win seasons for 2 decades straight. We were in the NBA championship. And every year we were in the NBA finals. Did they ever lose in the NBA finals?
Yeah, they lost in 2013.
Lost to the Heat.
They lost to the Heat that 1 year, right? Other than that, they won in 99, won in 2003, they won in 2005 against arguably the best defense that the NBA had ever seen. They smoked the Cavs, and then they came back and resurrected themselves after losing to the Miami Heat in 13. They came back and beat them. Yep. So when I think about longevity, when I think about sustainability, when I think about greatness in terms of players, Tim Duncan was there the entire time. Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker showed up in 2001 and in 2003. They showed up. Tim Duncan changed his role for this team to be the dynasty that they were and sustain that for as long as that they did. And when you're talking about a collapse, Marz, sure, the Spurs in 2010 had the number 1 seed and they lose in the first round. Absolutely. Was that a bigger deal than being 73-9 and going to pieces in the NBA finals?
Is losing in the first round worse than losing in the finals? Yes.
As the number 1 seed?
They were the number 1 seed and lost in the first round. That's worse than
losing in the first round is definitely worse than losing.
Losing in the first round as the 1 seed is worse than losing in the finals in Game 7 by 1 possession. That's just logical. The 07 Mavericks had a worse season than the 2016 Warriors. Going to the finals is never going to be worse than losing in the first round. That's the LeBron James ain't the GOAT logic. It's stupid. I went further in the postseason. But because I lost on the biggest stage, it's worse than losing in the first round when I was the number one
Collapse, by
seed.
the way.
I hate that. I hate
Yeah,
that.
you collapsed by losing to the 8th seed in round 1 too. It's still a collapse. It just happened in round 1. That doesn't make it more impressive because I choked earlier.
Sure.
That makes no sense. So the Warriors would have been better if they just lost to OKC. That doesn't make sense. That makes no sense. But yeah, they lasted real long. One more chip than the Warriors, and
I'll give you the Lakers.
Yeah, that's one. Come on, man. Let's just agree.
Longevity is everything in this game.
I'll give you the Lakers. That's what dynasties are.
No, it's acting like they're just definitively top 5. Like there's just no conversation to be had. Like I don't agree with that.
Let's agree to disagree.
I had a stroke because they weren't top 5. Like there aren't just clearly teams that replicated their success. Like it's not that.
There isn't. Let's move on. It's crazy.
5 championships was replicated many times. Like
this is crazy, bro. This is crazy. This is insane.
So the Showtime Lakers just weren't a bigger dynasty.
Yeah, but no dynasty like just all of duration.
So are they the best dynasty?
The Spurs?
Best?
No, I think the Celtics.
Are they the number 1 dynasty of all time?
Like, are they the best team?
I think it's the Celtics.
No, of course they're not the best team. Are they? When you rank dynasties 1 through 5, if the Spurs are obviously top 5, like everyone seems to be saying, longevity. Are they number 1? Because they have the best longevity. So are they number 1?
That's not all it is. No, I don't think so, Marz.
Okay, so where are they? At what point does the longevity not trump the actual success? Where do you draw the line? Is it the Bulls? Is it the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq? Is it the Showtime Lakers? Where does the line?
I'm not giving the Shaq and
Where
Kobe
does the line?
Lakers.
Okay, so you're not. So that's where the line.
That 3 championships
but the
over a
Lakers,
5-year span.
Kobe won 5 in 10 years. So, but dynasty for the Lakers, is that not? No, okay, cool. So Kobe can be there the whole time. That's not a dynasty. But Tim Duncan can be there the whole time. Dynasty. Okay. Anyway, you draw the line at the Lakers. You draw the line at the Lakers. You draw the line at the Lakers. So
that's where I'm at.
So the Bulls are over the Spurs. The Bulls are over the Spurs.
Yeah, I'll give it. I got the Bulls.
So 6 and 8 years.
Wait.
And obviously Bill Russell Celtics.
I think the Celtics are number 1. I think the Celtics are number 1. Yeah, I think the Celtics are number 1. I feel like the Bulls and the Warriors, I think that was a run. That's what I think that was. I think that was a run.
How many dynasties do you think there are?
A dynasty is always a run. Huh? What else would a dynasty be?
Well, here's the difference, though, Marz. When the dynasty,
Spurs
there's a difference.
Spurs was
you only sustain that. Okay, we just talked about longevity, did we not? Okay. So the Bulls, 6 championships in 8 years. In between that, Jordan ended up quitting. In the San Antonio Spurs, 5 championships in 20 years, making the playoffs, never missing the playoffs ever in those 20 years, right? Never missing the playoffs. The Lakers missed the playoffs at some point during that time.
In 2005, yes.
Yep, the Lakers missed the playoffs. Not
the Warriors missed the playoffs twice.
Warriors missed the playoffs twice. So that's what I'm talking about.
No, twice.
I remember twice.
Twice. Yeah.
Curry broke his hand.
2020 and 2021. Back to back.
Yeah, Curry broke his hand. All right. So when I think about a dynasty, I think about 1, longevity. I think about did you win? I think about how long did you sustain your greatness? 50 wins for 20 straight years. That means we were always in the middle of it. Consistently in the middle of it. There was never a drop off
of it. Not at the middle of it, at the top.
There was never a drop off with us ever at any point. When Jordan and Pippen left, the Bulls went in the tank. They were over. They were finished. That was it for the Bulls.
Dynasty. The dynasty was Jordan and Pippen. So when they left,
and how long did it last? For what? 6 years?
Well,
that
Pippen
was the dynasty.
For 8 years. Pippen was there for 8 years, but yeah, 6 and 8 years. Yes.
Right.
So 1 more than the Spurs. Yes.
Right. But and again, Marz, I'm talking about how long did the Spurs do this with Duncan, with Manu Ginobili, who, by the way, when they first got him, with Tony Parker, when they first got him, these guys weren't awesome. They had to turn.
Well, Manu got there in 03. So does the 99 chip not count as the dynasty, or is Tim Duncan the dynasty?
Tim Duncan
the
is part
of
the
dynasty.
Okay, so then why can't I say the Lakers were the dynasty in the 2000s?
You can say whatever you want. I didn't tell you.
Okay, so 5 chips in 10 years as opposed to 5 chips in 20 years.
The thing that's moving me about the Lakers, Marz, is the 3 straight championships. That's what's moving me with the Lakers.
Pretty impressive.
Yes, that's what's moving me with the Lakers. Winning it 3 straight years. That's a pretty big deal. Now the Spurs winning it every other year. I mean, I feel like that rivals that, but winning it 3 straight years, that's a different type of dominance.
Yes, and they won just as many chips in half the amount of time. I don't. If you have them top 5, cool. To be honest, I don't care about ranking dynasties that much, but I just don't agree with the concept of, oh yeah, they're easily top 5. It's undebatable when There's teams that have replicated the success in a much shorter amount of time. And now we're saying, oh, they're a dynasty because they were always really good in the regular season. But then on the flip side of that, could I not just say, if they're winning 58, 55, 57 games every year, how are they only making the final 6 times? If they got 20 years winning 55 games, 50 games, and they only make the final 6 times, that means 14 times they're underperforming.
Well,
is that
I don't know
irrelevant?
about underperforming. Well, wait a minute, Marz, because there are certain circumstances that negate that, which kind of contributes to your argument. You know, of the years that they, you know, like the year that Tim Duncan won the league MVP in 2002, they ran into the Lakers. They got smoked by the Lakers.
No, they ran into another dynasty and lost.
Yeah, and then the next year they ran into the Lakers again, and they ended up losing again. They ended up beating the Lakers after that, though, so that kind of supplemented it. The 3-time NBA champion, that kind of supplemented it, but they ran into the Lakers again in 2004 and lost to them again. So
they're a bigger dynasty than the Lakers, but routinely lost to the Lakers.
And the Lakers
when they
lost to them
operated.
too.
And I said routinely. I never said they never lost. Routinely.
Oh,
the Spurs lost to the Lakers.
They didn't
More than the. Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
The Spurs lost to the Lakers more often than the Lakers lost to the Spurs. But the Spurs are the bigger dynasty than the Lakers when they both operate at the same time.
Okay, in Marz, the duration of the dynasty alone is what catapults the Spurs. I'm looking at it. I'm reading it right now.
Then how does it not catapult them above the Bulls?
The definition of a dynasty is a powerful group or family that maintains its position for a considerable time.
20 years
is considerable.
It's extremely considerable.
Yeah.
20 years, Marz.
So
But
if
nobody,
you win just as much as me, and
you win. No. Don't say I win just as much as you, Marz. You saying you're predicating the dynasty solely on championships. It's not solely on championships. No, that's not the way.
If I win 70 games in the regular season every year for 10 years and win 2 chips, am I the greatest dynasty ever because I'm the best regular season team ever? No. Dynasties have always been measured by championships. I'm not the one making this arbitrary measure.
No, we're not.
That's how dynasties
but
it's
championships sprinkled in with great seasons over a 20-year period.
Which I understand why the Spurs have a
are the Lakers in the
for top
60s
5.
into the early 70s a dynasty to y'all?
Man, look, Maddie.
They would have to be. They went to the finals.
I typically don't do this.
They were in the finals like 10 times, and I know they only won it once.
They lost to the Celtics 6. They lost to the Celtics 6 times in the 60s.
Yeah,
I typically don't do this.
That's not
but I'm not considering those dynasties from back then.
You do have.
I'm just not.
Okay, so that's fine.
I'm
That's
just
what I
not.
said. If you're not doing all of NBA history, fine. Then they're top 5.
No,
yeah.
I'm doing it. They're there.
No, you're
I'm
clear.
just
No,
not.
you
I'm
just said
just
you're not
not
considering
giving them. I'm not giving them the credit. I'm not giving them the credit that I'm giving the Spurs.
Which is fine. If you're not considering them, that was your words.
No, I'm considering them. I'm not giving them the credit. I'm not giving them the credit that I'm giving the Spurs.
Okay, fine. If you're saying, hey, that era is too different, I'm not gonna say those championships are worth as much as the Spurs because 8 teams, the competition, blah, whatever your reasons are. That's fine. If you're gonna, for all intents and purposes, remove the first 25 years of NBA history, you can say you're not. But when you're removing 11 championships in 13 years because, hey, I just don't respect it as much, you're removing the first 25 years of NBA history. You can say you're not, but you are. So if you're going to do that, then fine. They're top 5 of the last 40 or so years. Cool. No one's arguing that. But then it's not top 5 in NBA history. It's top 5 in NBA history that I value.
I'm telling you it's top 5 in NBA history. I'm telling you I value this 20-year stretch. I value what they were doing over those years. And on top of that, I value who they were popping year after year.
Yeah,
and even losing, and even losing to Kobe Bryant, Shaq, LeBron James. I can do the same thing with the Spurs as well.
That's my point. They were losing with it, but you're not doing it with the 60s. That's my point. Because when they're popping Oscar Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain, and Jerry West,
Marz,
Elgin Baylor, they're popping them. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just not moved.
Come on, man.
Like, so it's fine. It's fine to not value the 60s and the early 70s.
It's other dynasties that they were clashing against, beating.
Yeah, the reason there's no other dynasties for the Celtics to beat is because they just kept winning.
Just one question. Why do you think this is dumb? I don't understand why you think this is dumb, Ox. That's what I'm trying to make sense. Why do you think this is dumb, Ox? We got a Los Angeles Lakers team that won the NBA championship 5 times in 10 years. That happened.
Fire. That's fire.
I
didn't want to discredit them, but I'm not going to try to argue and have people yelling over me and just saying, "Oh, I'm not doing this with y'all today." I'm just ready. Like I said a couple minutes ago, like we could just agree to disagree and move on. Nobody's gonna I'm not here to try to convince nobody. I said my point, and that's it. I don't got time to be arguing over this shit.
He had a stroke. That's what you said. You said
right. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's more important. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's terrible. I hope Pop gets better, but to discredit what Pop did for 20 years.
I don't know about discrediting it. No, we're not doing
cool.
that.
Oh, that's what's happening. No, that's what's happening.
It's great what he did. It's great what Tim Duncan did. I just don't agree with the premise that, oh yeah, if they're not top 5, that's stroke worthy. I just don't agree with that. Like,
you don't have to agree with it. I'm not trying to convince you. That's why I said we can agree.
That's the point of a debate show. I don't know what to tell you. That's the point of a debate.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I said already what I said. You said what you said. And I'm not, and I wasn't saying shit. Chill.
And then I was talking to Ron and Chill. And then I was talking to Ron and Chill.
Chill brought me into it. I'm still not trying to argue with you about this. I said what I said, and that's it.
That's great. I don't think they're top 5.
If
they are top 5,
so Marz, like I just,
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Right. So Marz, like I just said,
wasn't talking to you. I was talking to
right. So Marz, here's what I'm asking you, Marz. Right. So Marz, this is what I'm asking you.
Chilling, bro.
So Marz, this is what I'm asking you. So this Spurs team, I care about longevity, the players that they had, how great they were as a defensive team, how great they were as an offensive team, how long they did it, the group that they had, and how they changed with the times. Tim Duncan moving from the 5 to the 4 for a decade, still being elite.
Yeah,
did I say 5? I'm sorry. Moving from the 4 to the 5. I apologize. Moving from the 4 to the 5 and still being elite for a decade. He was doing that and making this team consistently, again, at the top of the Western Conference. I think that they lost. I think they was in the Western Conference Championship, and from 2010 to 2016, they was in the Western Conference Championship 3 times. Three or 4 times, so 4 times in 6 years. They lost to Oklahoma City. They beat Oklahoma City. I think they lost to Dallas.
In 2012, 13, and 14, they were in the conference finals every year.
Right. So three straight years. They're still in the West. That's half of that time for half the decade. In addition to what they did from 2000 to 2010, winning the NBA championship 3 times in 5 years. I'm sorry, 3 times in 03, 05, and 07. Winning the 3 times in 5 years. I'm sorry. Yeah, winning the 3 times in 5 years. When I'm doing that, and I'm talking about being a dynasty, in addition to us winning 50 games for a decade and consistently being relevant and consistently being viable. Coach Popovich is Coach of the Year 3 times. 3. Nobody else did that except him. Or I'm sorry, one other. I think Pat Riley's the only other guy who did that. I'll take that back. Pat Riley is the only one who did that. But over the course of that time, I think he passed Don Nelson as the all-time winningest coach in NBA history.
He did, yeah.
I don't think it's definitive, but to say that, it's not ridiculous to say that the Spurs are a top 5 dynasty all time.
Definitely not ridiculous. And if you if you're like Ron and you're just like, yeah, the 60s or whatever, then yeah, they probably are top 5. If you can remove Mikan's Lakers, who won 5 and 6 years.
You can't discount that stuff. No,
well, Ron is. And he's saying he's not.
I did not discount them. They are in there. They're in the group. They're just not better than the Spurs.
Ron, the Boston
Ron, you can say what you want, but you're discounting them. But that's fine. So. Like, you can say you're not, but you actively are. So if Mikan's Lakers,
they're just not better. I'm telling you,
that means you are discounting.
5 and 20 years
any feasible measure of a dynasty, the Russell Celtics would be by far number 1. If they aren't number 1 for you, you are discounting them. You can call it what you want, but that's what you're doing. It's absolutely fine to discount it. A lot of people discount that era of basketball. You aren't the only one. But to then act like you aren't discounting it when they win 8 straight championships, win 11 in 13 years, and go to the finals 12 times. That's a lie. You are discounting it, which is fine. You don't respect the competition. You don't respect that the game was played completely differently. You don't respect the talent they were going against. That's fine. Whatever your reasons are, I don't care. A lot of people don't value that era of basketball. You are not alone. But acting like you aren't discounting it is wrong. But anyway, so if we are going to discount those eras of basketball, some people are going to do it. And you take out Mikan's Lakers, who won 5 and 6 years, because you don't respect anything before the shot clock. Or you take out Russell Celtics because you don't respect the 60s era of basketball and you don't respect the talent level and all of those things. So you take out the 11 championships. That's 2 dynasties that, in my opinion, clearly had more success than the Spurs, or were clearly more dominant dynasties than the Spurs. We take those 2 out. Now the Spurs have action at the top 5, because now you're looking at the Showtime Lakers, who won 5 in 10 years, went to the finals 8 times in the 80s, and then you got 91 if you want to count as part of the dynasty. I don't know if you would, but you got that dynasty. You got all-time greats. Kareem, top 10 player ever. Magic Johnson, probably a top 10 player ever. Pat Riley, top 10 coach ever. All that talent. So you got that. You got the talent on your side. You got the domination on your side. You got.
That's why I think the Spurs are actually more impressive because they didn't have
they had less. Because they had less good players. Okay,
they didn't have all that top end talent and managed to do what they did.
Okay, so you got the Lakers, all that success, the talent, the domination, Showtime, whatever you want to call it. You got that team. Then you got the Jordan Bulls, Pippen Bulls, Phil Jackson Bulls, 6 championships, 6 finals appearances, 8 seasons, never lost in the finals, domination, NBA regular season wins record prior to 2016, 72 wins. So domination, regular season and postseason, all those championships. Cool. Then you've got the Lakers of the 2000s or the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, then the second iteration with Pau Gasol and them. If you want to make that all one dynasty, similar to how the Spurs changed teams quite a lot, and they just really kept similar players within the core. Kobe was there the whole time. Shaq was there for the first part, but David Robinson wasn't there for the last part, but then he was there in the early. So the teams changed a lot, but the Lakers and the Spurs. So
Sure.
5 championships in 10 years, 7 finals appearances, consistently beating the Spurs head to head. Their record against the Spurs in that time in the 2000s was better than the Spurs record against them. So consistently beating this dynasty while they are both operating at the same time. Then you've also got the top end talent of peak Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and Phil Jackson, one of the best coaches of all time, just like Greg Popovich. You got that team. Then you've got the Warriors, where consistent regular season success, 67 wins, 73 wins.
Please keep the Warriors out of this.
No,
I don't even understand why the Warriors are even being considered in this.
Because I'm going to explain why they're being considered. Like I've done with every other dynasty. I'm going to explain why they're being considered.
They shouldn't be considered.
Because nothing in the modern game should ever be considered against the old times. That's how.
No, it's not even like that Warriors shit wasn't even all that impressive. KD going over that for 2 rings.
Building the greatest team, building the most talented team ever assembled, possibly isn't that impressive? Sure, whatever. So 67 wins, win a championship. Then they follow that up. 73 wins, go to the finals, lose the championship. So they're 1-on-1. They then acquire a top 3 player on the planet, build maybe the best team in NBA history, go 16-1 in the postseason. Only other team to replicate that, the 0-1 Lakers, by the way, didn't even put that into that dynasty case. 15-1 in the postseason, sweeping the Spurs in the postseason.
Undefeated on the road in the Western Conference. Nobody has done that before.
Amazing, undefeated in that conference.
Nobody ever did that.
So you got that. That's also part of the Lakers case. Then you got 16-1 in the postseason for the Warriors. Greatest team ever in a lot of people's estimations, if not top 3. Spurs have no consideration for having any team that's in the top 3 of all time. So you got that. Then you got all the talent: Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, all of that. So you got the talent. Then they follow that up in 2018, winning another championship, going to Game 7 with the Rockets. Great series. They cheated, but whatever. You got that. Then you got 2019. They go back to the finals. They lose. A lot of injuries, all of that stuff.
Sure.
But what hasn't been said in this time, from 2015 to 2022, the Warriors did not lose a series in the Western Conference. For 7 years, the Warriors didn't lose a series in the Western Conference. Now, I am being disingenuous because they missed the playoffs twice. So I want to put that out there.
I was about to say that, Marz. I was about to say that right there, Marz. That's where the divide comes in.
But I am being extremely disingenuous. They did miss the playoffs twice. But for 7 years, every time they were in the postseason, from 2015 to 22, they went to the finals. That's 6 finals appearances. They never lost to a Western Conference team in 7 years. That's a dynasty. They won 4 championships in 7 years, compared to the Spurs winning 5 in 20 years. And if the argument is if the asterisk is the team was too good. I can't call them a better dynasty because their team was too good. Okay, cool, that helps my point. Their team was so good that the rings don't count. That's how much of a dynasty they were. The team was so good, people don't want to count their rings because they were so much better.
5 in 20 is more impressive than 4 in what? 9 years, 8 years,
4 and 7. 4 and 7. Yeah, 5 and 20 is more impressive than 4 and 7, guys.
So they went to
4 and 7 is less impressive than 5 and 20.
Mars, the thing, like longevity is a thing. Like that's like me saying, oh, you lived 30 years and you won this many prizes and stuff like that, yada yada yada. But I survived 100 years. Like the point of life is to live. The point of life is to sustain your life and be here as long as possible. Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan in the Spurs literally stayed relevant. That's it. Literally stayed. I mean,
none of us.
I don't think nobody wants to die. If you wanted to die, I mean, it's not hard to really like.
Meaning of life.
Charles Manson was pretty old.
Yeah, some people don't want to just live forever and do nothing. Some people would rather live.
I've never heard anybody say I want to die. I've never. I mean,
That's wrong.
For the most part, nobody's trying to die. For the most part, everybody is trying to sustain their life as much as possible.
And everyone's trying to do something. And a lot of people trying to do something with their life
for 20 years.
That's great. That's what
I gave the Warriors their prop yesterday. I gave the Warriors their props today. Their dynasty's still going.
If they win this year, 5 and 9 years, are they better than the Spurs or no? Because of longevity. Yeah. So then it's about the championship, not the longevity.
Wait a minute, Marz.
We can revisit
again.
So then it's about championships, not the longevity.
No, it's not. No.
I mean, it is about championships. Championships go into
matters.
But
for 4 and 7, 5 and 9, yeah.
20 seasons. 20
what
seasons.
You're doing? No. What Marz is doing is Marz is giving you the argument with also being disingenuous. Marz, again, that matters. The fact that you missed the playoffs twice. You didn't miss the playoffs once. You missed the playoffs twice in a row. And when I think about what the Spurs did, okay, in 2001, Western Conference Championship. In 2002, they swept in the Western 100%, but they was in the Western Conference Championship. In 2002, they lost to the Lakers in the semifinals. In 2003, NBA Championship. In 2004, semifinals. I'm sorry. In 2005, Western Conference Championship, NBA Championship. In 2006, Western Conference Championship. They lost.
They lost to Dallas in the second round, and Dallas played Phoenix in the conference.
Dallas played Phoenix. That's correct. In the semifinals. 2007, they're in the Western Conference Championship. 2008, they're in the Western Conference Championship again against the Spurs.
Lose to the Lakers.
In 2009, I think that they lose in the first round, and in 2010, they lose in the first round.
No, that's the semifinals. 2011 is the first round. 60 wins, first round exit.
That was against Memphis. That was in 2011. So. In 2012, they lose in the West Finals. 2013, they lose in the NBA championship. 2014, they win the NBA. They win the NBA championship. 2015, I think they lose in the first round to San Antonio. They lose in the first round to the Clippers. That's correct. In 2016,
semifinals, they lost to OKC.
They lost to OKC. In 2017, they lose in the West Finals.
Oh, 17 is part of Dynasty too? So we're even going beyond Tim Duncan?
That's when he. I think that's when he. No, the year before.
No, Tim Duncan left in 16. If we're including
16, no.
Spurs were great in 2017. That team had 16.
Yeah, they were still great. They were still great.
We'll stay with 16.
You can.
We'll stay with 16. The point I'm making is from 2001 to 2016, they were always relevant. When you lose in the playoffs, right? When you lose in the playoffs in back-to-back seasons, whether it's injury, right? When not losing the playoffs, I'm sorry. When you miss the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. That weakens your dynasty case off that strength alone. When we're in the playoffs, we actually have a chance to win the NBA championship, whether we falter or not. We're actually in the postseason. We're viable to win the NBA championship. When you lose and you don't make the playoffs at all, you are completely out of the race. So now your dynasty is in question. Same logic. That's where I'm getting moved at with the Lakers in 2005. When you miss the playoffs, when you end up missing the playoffs, despite you're rebuilding the dynasty. The fact that you missed the playoffs and we're trying to stay relevant. I mean, that's a big deal. That's where I'm getting moved when it comes.
They made the playoffs, but the Warriors have the same amount of finals appearances, and the Lakers had more. So it's like, yeah, we missed the playoffs once or twice in the Warriors example, but we made the finals just as much as you. So you were in the playoffs just losing. So it's like, yeah, I get it. Like,
still were there though.
Yeah, that's why they have, and this is why they have a case to be top 5. I agree, they have a case. The longevity is crazy. 50 wins every year. Crazy. The highest winning percentage of like any over that period of time ever. Crazy. 5 championships. Crazy. Talent level. Crazy. Coaching. Crazy. What's the word? Creativity. Like the way they were able to change their style of play from 99 to 03
innovative,
to then 2014.
Revolutionary. 100%.
Revolutionary is the word I was looking for. Exceptional. I just don't think it's definitively their top 5. So we spent 40 minutes on this, so I guess Ox was right that this was pointless. But I had fun. I enjoyed it. So it
wasn't pointless.
No,
we talked about a lot of great teams. And
we ended up going in circles a little bit. So I mean, I think people side with Ox saying this was a bit pointless, but I had fun. So shout out to
point being prayers up to Pop.
Oh yeah, also yeah. Hope he recovers.
That's the whole reason why
we lost sight of the actual reason we even got into this. Hope Pop recovers. Yeah, hope Pop recovers.
Yo, Maddie.
Yeah.
But before we move on, can I get your top 5 dynasties?
Top 5 dynasties. I don't really rank dynasties like that, but if I were off the top of my head, you got the 60s Celtics, 90s Bulls, I would probably just say the 50s Lakers, winning 5 and 6 years. Obviously, that's elite. I would say, or no, actually, no, the early 2000s Lakers. I would put them over it. I wouldn't count the late 2000s Lakers as a part of that dynasty, but early 2000s Lakers, I would put them just because I think that those were better teams that the Lakers constructed. And then at 5, Showtime Lakers probably.
Oh yeah, I got to ask for the LeBron fans: is LeBron James by himself a dynasty? Is he in this top 5? 8 straight finals appearances.
Yeah, he would be.
Four times in 10 years.
Yeah, 9 times in 10 years. 4 championship. I know. Because if any part of this gets clipped, you know the comments. Hey, LeBron James went to finals 8 times straight. Sure. So is LeBron James by himself top 5 dynasty of all time?
I don't know about
4
top
championships
5,
in 10
but
years.
I mean, we can. I think we can have a conversation. And because if I'm doing the same thing with if I'm doing this with the Spurs with the longevity thing, I got to do the same thing with James.
No,
I got to do.
He's got more finals appearances than
I got to do the exact same thing with James from 2006, from 2006, from the middle of the 2000s up until 2020, up until 2023. I mean, he did miss the playoffs twice, just like the Warriors did. But from 2006 up until 2020, he ended up missing the playoffs that 1 year in 19 because he got hurt. But other than that, I mean, to be in the NBA championship 9 times in 10 years, to be in the playoffs for 14 straight years. Yeah, to be in the playoffs 14 straight years. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Sure, but somebody just said this in the chat. Jerry West is the real dynasty. Jerry West built 4 of the top 5 dynasties ever. He built the Showtime Lakers. He built the 2000s Lakers. He built the 2010s Warriors, and he built the 60s Celtics technically because he was losing to them all the
time. Yo, chill, but you don't count those Pistons teams as a dynasty, all right? The first group.
Oh, the Bad Boys.
Yeah, the Bad Boys. You don't count them.
3 straight finals appearances, 2 trips.
I count them as a
5 trips.
So the Heat was a dynasty?
5. No, yeah. Wait a minute, Marz. 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. 5 straight trips to the East Finals. That's half the decade.
The Heat had 4 straight trips to the finals and won as many chips, 2 chips.
I count the Heat and the Pistons.
Now these are obviously on top 5 dynasties, but
right.
No.
They could have
I think that might be a run.
LeBron James a dynasty, man.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. Yeah, the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.